The changing faces of Social Security over the years. The year was 1929. The stock market had just crashed, and the ensuing Great Depression was about to take its toll. Millions had lost their retirement funds, and saving for future retirement was nearly impossible. To fill this void, government created a social safety net program called Social Security. It was signed into law in 1935. Social Security was based on one generation of workers providing partial retirement funding for another generation of retirees through a payroll tax contribution known as a FICA tax. After a series of challenges, the Supreme Court found Social Security to be constitutional, and in 1937, Social Security began receiving 2% of the first $3,000 of a worker's annual wages, or a maximum of $60 annually. Ida Mae Fuller was the first Social Security retiree. Ida Mae lived to be 100 years old, paid in a total of $24.75 in Social Security taxes, and collected $22,882.92 in Social Security retiree benefits in her retirement years. Social Security was a sweet deal for Ida Mae Fuller, not so sweet for today's seniors. With each passing year, Social Security was taking on a new look. A major change occurred in the early 1980s when Social Security reform legislation was demanded by the people, when the people were told Social Security was on the verge of bankruptcy. The ensuing Social Security reform legislation put Social Security on a path to becoming something it was never intended to be. Prior to the 1983 reform, Social Security operated as a pay-as-you-go system of $1 paid in by the workers and $1 paid out to the retirees, with very little imbalance left at the end of each year. The 1983 reform legislation replaced the pay-as-you-go program with a pay-in-advance program of $5 paid in by the workers and $4 paid out to retirees. Politicians said the excess dollar would be used to build a cash reserve for the 78 million baby boomers who were in the future retirement pipeline. The 1983 Social Security reform legislation was introduced to the American people with this headline: Social Security saved for the next 75 years. That headline was less than 100% correct. The Social Safety Net program, or Social Security, that began as a program keeping seniors out of poverty, was now on course to put millions of seniors either in poverty or push them closer to poverty. The Social Security reform legislation of 1983 has seniors today making tough choices between medication and food. Financial independence was being replaced with big government dependence, creating significant financial challenges for millions of working and retired Americans, their families, and the communities we all call home. Would you be okay with reinventing this program?